With two robot rovers, Spirit and Opportunity, exploring the surface of Mars since 2004, it may be the planet next to Earth that has received the most research. Curiosity will bring 10 times the mass of scientific instruments to Mars as the earlier rovers did, providing an opportunity to learn more than ever about the red planet. Spirit has stopped communicating with Earth, but Opportunity is still moving along. But there were a lot of myths about the planet before Mars research started due to a lack of information. Here are a few Mars-related superstitions that have persisted over time, and in some cases still do. The planet Mars has a face. NASA's Viking 1 spacecraft took this unsettling photograph of a Martian mesa in 1976. What looked like a human face was staring back at them from the surface of Mars. Scientists dismissed the photos of the face on Mars as a simple optical illusion, but the public went bonkers. The face was believed by conspiracy theorists to be proof of life on Mars. Tabloids from supermarkets adored it. It even appeared in a 1993 episode of The X-Files on television, episode Space. Since the Viking missions, no crisp photos of the landform had been taken until NASA's Mars Global Surveyors sailed over the face in 1998. The mesa appeared noticeably less human this time. When the same satellite took yet more pictures in 2001, the face took yet another hit. The face on Mars appears to be an average viewed at high resolution. Martians created intricate canals. Planet watchers were certain that the surface of the red planet was covered in bizarre characteristics long before the face on Mars baffled the general audience. Giovanni Schiaparelli, an Italian astronomer, noticed what he dubbed canali, or canals, on Mars' surface in 1877. Could these characteristics be a sign of civilization and irrigation? Percival Lowell, an American businessman, thought so without a doubt. His depictions of the canals and the 3 books he wrote on the planet between 1895 and 1908 helped disseminate the theory that the canals were constructed by intelligent life in a last-ditch effort to obtain water from Mars' polar ice caps. The Mariner 4 spacecraft's first close-up images of Mars in 1965 disproved the canal hypothesis. The canals are now acknowledged to be nothing more than an optical illusion because it turns out that no such structures actually exist. Mars is the planet with the most myths and misconceptions. How much you actually know about some of the silliest assertions made about the red planet will be revealed by this quiz. Oceans on Mars. Less fantastical than the notion that Mars had canals, but ultimately disproven, was the notion that Mars has oceans. An article detailing the scientist Sir William Herschel's observations of Mars through a telescope was published in 1784. He was close to getting several things perfect, such as a 30-degree axial tilt. The actual number is 25.19. Herschel did, however, err in thinking that the dark areas he observed on Mars were oceans, with lighter areas acting as land. Throughout the 1800s, the concept of Martian oceans would be prevalent. Even though some scientists believe liquid water once flowed on the Earth billions of years ago, close-up views of the planet would show it to be barren. As of right now, there is no concrete proof that there was ever liquid water on Mars' surface. All of the water has been frozen into the planet's soil. Mars will resemble the Moon in size. Since 2003, an email forward has gone around stating that Mars would look as huge as the full moon to the naked eye on a specific date. The author cautions readers, no one alive today will ever see it again, to emphasize the seriousness. It turns out that no one alive today will ever see it. On August 27, 2003, Mars actually came quite close to Earth due to its orbit. Nonetheless, the planet only appeared to be 6 times bigger and 85 times brighter than usual, far from being comparable to our view of the Moon. The 2003 close approach to Mars, at a distance of roughly 35 million miles, was its closest in 60,000 years, 56 million kilometers. In contrast, the Moon is typically 384,400 kilometers, 238,855 miles away from Earth. Mars would need to be rather close to the Moon in order to match it in the night sky, despite its bigger size. There is intelligent life on Mars. Although it can't be completely ruled out, researchers are more likely to focus on small bacteria than superintelligent, tentacle-armed Martians these days. When tracing the evolution of human perceptions of Mars, the latter is the more prevalent depiction. The eventually overturned Canal observations sparked widespread interest in the notion of an intelligent, possibly ancient civilization on the planet, and Sir William Herschel, a great believer in extraterrestrial life, wrote in his 1784 paper that Martians probably enjoy a situation similar to our own. H.G. was arguably the most well-known Martian encounter. The 1898 release of Wells' novel The War of the Worlds. A radio dramatization of the book in 1938 caused alarm because listeners believed the invasion was actually happening. Who was to blame for them? Just 17 years prior, the Marconi Wireless Telegraph Company Limited claimed to have received communications from Mars that were too frequent to be random events in a New York Times article. The New York Times quotes J.H.C. Macbeth, manager of Marconi Wireless, as saying, "Now this much is known about Mars. The existence of human life and whether Martians, if they exist, have eyes in their foreheads or the backs of their heads remain speculative, although astronomers say that life can be sustained on that planet." Martian iguana. In 2013, iguanas were observed in a shot taken by the Curiosity rover, according to conspiracy websites. However, as the Huffington Post noted at the time, it has yet to be established that the iguana, rat, and other animals visible in photographs from the red planet are anything more than strange-looking rocks. Martian rat. A section of a panoramic photo obtained by NASA's Curiosity rover in September 2012 caught the attention of UFO enthusiasts. These viewers noticed something lying between two rocks that resembled a rat. The Mars rat is an imaginative theory, but experts have dismissed it as implausible. The red planet is a very unfriendly environment for life because to its extremely low temperatures, radiation exposure, and absence of Earth's thick, shielding atmosphere. Girl on Mars. A picture of what looked to be a human figure, possibly a woman, far away was taken by NASA's Spirit rover in 2007. Users of several internet forums were enthralled by the intriguing image as they searched for evidence of extraterrestrial life. However, astronomers soon realized that the human-shaped object was actually only a little rock that was placed very near the camera and was only a few inches high. In addition, breathing is impossible on Mars. Since the days when Mars was widely dreaded by the populace, a lot has been discovered. Astronomer Percival Lowell falsely popularized the notion that Mars was crisscrossed with canals in the early 1900s, but this was later proven to be untrue. Lowell's theories were based on observations made during Mars' 1877 near approach and a false linguistic translation. Italian astronomer Giovanni Schiaparelli, who was colorblind but had keen eyesight, observed Mars in late 1877 with an 8.75-inch, 0.2-meter telescope. Italian for channels, Schiaparelli depicted and wrote about canali. The English translation of the word was canals. According to historians, the mistake was caused by the excitement surrounding the construction of the Suez Canal, a technical feat of the day that was finished in 1869. Many newspaper editors at the time supported Lowell, despite the fact that other astronomers withheld judgment, and he published his first illustrations in the 1895 book Mars, which he followed up with a complete defense of his theory in the 1908 book Mars as the Abode of Life. In retrospect, Lowell's assertions that there is intelligent life on Mars were absurdly speculative. However, his findings added to a chorus of inaccurate notions about Mars that predated him by millennia and persisted well after his passing in 1916. Earthlings continued to monitor radio transmissions from Mars as late as 1924 at the U.S. government's request. Thousands of listeners were also terrified in 1938 by Orson Welles' radio pranks into thinking that Martians had arrived, first aiming for New Jersey. Of course, we are aware today that there are no invading forces and that the canals do not exist. According to experts, the canals are a result of people's propensity for pattern recognition. The eye has a tendency to draw straight lines between a collection of black smudges while seeing them. That was for today. Thank you for staying with us. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel.